Cubby blue blood flowing through our veins. Sitting in the bleachers in the rain. We've shed a million tears and drank as many old-style beers out at the game. Let's go, Cubby, Son Ranto.
Michael Cotton.
Son Ranto.
Michael Cotton.
Son Ranto and the lovable Lucy.
Lucho Scali.
Son Ranto.
Michael.
Son Ranto.
Cotton.
Son Ranto and the lovable Lucy.
Michael Cotton.
Son Ranto.
Lucho Scali.
Ranto! It's been a while since I've got to call the name of my own show. Hi, and welcome to the Son Ranto Show, brought to you by the Bleacher Bunch production on the Fans First Sports Network, brought to you by all of our Patreon supporters, and of course, Fanarchy. It's brought to you by Fanarchy. And with us today is a Mets fan, which we're here to apologize to and tell him how bad we feel for him and his sad little team. But he does have an awesome app to root for his sad little team on called Fanarchy. But before we get started, I just want to shout out our other sponsors, Penguin Imprints, In the Clutch shirts, Matt Kammerer's permanent paintings, and of course our very super duper super ranters, Blake Beard, Bernie Barron. You guys are the best. Thanks for supporting us. So we are smack dab in the middle of this Mets series between the Cubs and the Mets in New York. And Britt, your team looks like total dog shit. I'm very sorry to say, but I've been enjoying your app, Fanarchy. So let's talk about a couple of those things.
Yeah, no, the Mets are really bad, and I mean, there's still time in the schedule to straighten things out, but it is so depressing to watch that team. They are just like so unlovable is the problem. At least if we had Pete Alonso or something, like we could love Pete and like hate, be bummed that they're losing, but this team is just so unlovable. The
Mets are having the season that Cubs fans think the Cubs are having. Is it really?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And every time I see you posting like something like terrible about the season being over, I'm like, dude, you don't know what season over looks like.
Yeah. Well, currently we are a playoff team. And when I was growing up, like if the Cubs even sniffed 500, you'd have tons and tons of hope. Be like, this is the year they finally break the curse, whether it was 85 years or 90 years at the time, made it all the way to 108 years before we finally broke it. But the entire time, Cub fans, the lovable losers, the curse of the GOAT, all that stuff, see, to me, the Cubs and the Mets have very similar sort of vibes about them in that they underperform when they are overvalued before the season. And
right.
And then they'll just and then probably some of the years that the Mets made the World Series and had great years, that might have come out of not the blue, but less so than like this year. You're supposed to do well, you didn't.
Yeah, I mean, 24 was so magical in part because like they just weren't expected to do anything. It was just like I was like, let's just hope to have a 500 team this year. Maybe we can squeak in, kind of thing. And then they were so bad for 2 months, and I'm just like, well, they're not even a 500 team. That's just it. And then they go on this incredible run, and it was so much more fun because of that. Like, I feel like if it's just like too automatic, like obviously you want the wins, at this point I would love automatic, right? But just, it was so special in 24 because like you just didn't expect something, and then they went so far.
Yeah, that's kind of how like 2015 was for the Cubs. And then you guys, the Mets, it really decimated us in the playoffs behind the homophobic bat of Daniel Murphy. But I do want to point out that Michael Cotton is here, but he is in the chat and he's saying #chance in the chat, which means you can win a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom. But he spelled chance wrong, unfortunately, so he's not eligible. If you just put #CHANCE, you have a chance to win that. And also Mike Presnowski, longtime friend and guest of the show, the Prazmaster, is here saying, this guy isn't Frank the Tank. So do you know who Frank the Tank even is? Or is he just a part of Chicago Cubs folklore.
No, he's a real fan, and in fact, my wife Liz, for Father's Day, she got me a cameo from Frank the Tank. He's on Cameo.
Is he really?
And so my Father's Day, surprise in the morning was like Frank the Tank being like, "Oh my God, this fucking team!" Like he's like, I'm sorry, but you have to root for the Mets, but happy Father's Day. But he's like, "Oh, this fucking team!" Like he's a real character.
I thought there was a guy who played for the Cubs right after we traded away our entire 2016 core that they just got off the scrap heap in the middle of the season named Frank Schwindel, and they called him Frank the Tank. That's who I thought that he was referring to. But then I forgot about the Mets Frank the Tank. Him and Pin Man are your famous Mets fans. Do you know who Pin Man is?
No.
Guy who walks around with all the light up pins, the old guy. Have you seen that dude?
Yeah, I've seen him around. Like you see, yeah. I remember seeing a guy like that at Yankee Stadium. I feel like I more associate guys with pins at Yankee Stadium, but yeah, I've seen that guy around Citi Field, I guess.
No, Pin Man. Yeah. Tell him Danny Rocket says hey. I've talked to him a few times out there.
I'll give him a fist bump for you. Yeah. Yeah, no, Frank's not happy right now at all. He also, Frank was on, he got together with Arnold Schwarzenegger and lost like 300 pounds or something. It was like a whole social media frenzy of like losing all this weight. He's a lot more fit now.
Well, I mean,
Frank the Tank.
That can be good for a minor celebrity or bad. We kind of all know what happened with Jared from Subway. That fame went to his head. Now he's doing life, but and he deserves to be there. But
I mean, I think if the Mets keep losing, maybe it's gonna be harder.
He's gonna have to go to a life of crime just to survive. So, all right. Well, let's talk a little bit about Fanarchy, because you sponsor this show. Fanarchy sponsors this show. I'm wearing the Fanarchy hat, which is an awesome hat. You just sent me a bunch of Fanarchy hats and shirts.
Excellent.
Which
I give it out.
I'll be giving them out on July 18th at the Bleacher Barbecue, Crawley's birthday. So we're gonna get
awesome.
All the Bleacher bums that matter into a Fanarchy hat or a Fanarchy shirt. And so come on out July 18th to the Bleachers. They're going to be dedicating a gate that day, which of course Cub fans are not happy about. It's a 2016 championship gate. And I'll show you a picture of it. It's like right outside the ballpark. That's kind of on the Clark side. It's just a gate, and everybody's mad about it.
Is it like new? Is it a new gate?
Yeah, brand new gate. It didn't exist before. Before it was actually, there's like trees there. It's like planter. Now there'll be a gate, and everybody is losing their minds because they don't like the gate. So the controversy is now called Gate, like Watergate. I've named it that. It hasn't really caught on yet, but I'm hoping.
I think that'll catch on. I think you got something.
I think mine is something. Yeah, but you have to be old enough to know who Richard Nixon was. And that's like, those people are kind of running out. It's like kind of when my mom would talk about, Truman, growing up with Truman, I'd be like, well, that has nothing to do with anything, Ma. But I do have some questions about the Mets for you, because you're going to be sellers at the deadline. I don't think that there's really any hope that they're going to. I mean, there are 8 games out, a lot of teams to climb over to get into that third wild card spot where the Cubs are up. I'll put up the standings there just to kind of show my work. You're the 3rd worst team in the National League it's just shocking. But
it's terrible. We gave up 40 runs in the last 4 games.
I heard that the starting pitchers for like the last 2 weeks have an ERA over 10.
Yeah. It's been a disaster. Yeah.
I mean, and the Cubs have put up big runs, 9 runs, 10 runs. This is a team that had barely any offense for weeks until they met the Mets. But so I want to ask about who you might be selling. You have expiring contracts in AJ Minter, who's been injured, but he's a heck of a pitcher. Can help.
He's going to be helpful. Yeah. To somebody.
David Peterson, Freddie Peralta, who's pitching tomorrow, and Brooks Raley, who was actually drafted by the Cubs in 2009. So he's old as shit, but he could help.
Yeah. I mean, Peralta gave up 10 runs in like 3-something innings against the Phillies the other day, the most earned runs he's ever given up. But he should be fine. I mean, he's definitely not having a great season overall. I mean, his ERA is close to 5 now. And the 10 runs is going to, I'm sure, will be like an exception on the ledger, but he's definitely like somebody we should get something for. But he's got to certainly improve his trade value on our behalf. But that should be
Jed
helpful.
To do the deal. Jed, if the shittier your guy is, the more Jed likes him. And he's like, I'll fix him. So I think Jed Hoyer I can see him taking Peralta and Senga off your hands. And unfortunately, we don't have any good players to trade you back. That's the problem.
I think Senga is going to get released. I can't imagine. I mean, people were saying that about Minaya at the beginning of the season. Minaya's now kind of come around, is having a better year, but I feel like Senga's been much worse than Minaya for much longer. I think, well, not for much longer, but for a long time. I don't know. I guess I feel like Senga. I feel like there's no hope left, and it's time to say goodbye. Minaya, he has come around a little bit, but his contract's not really movable. I mean, they talk about Bo Bichette, but that contract is like so complicated and probably not movable. That Buster Olney said something about Semien going back to San Francisco, and we take Adames.
That sounds weird.
That sounds weird. I mean,
why?
It sounds like,
why would anybody do?
I mean, Adames not having a good season either, but like just, I mean, Semien and Nimmo, I guess, were just sort of like a challenge trade for like kind of bad or going to be bad contracts, and I guess we can just sort of trying to keep doing that with Semien. I don't know.
Swap bad contracts thing. I mean,
yeah,
I really don't think Willie Adames is going to end up being a bad contract. I don't. Semien might be, but I believe he's a little older too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we got Beatty and Vientos, who've been like, so promising for so long. Vientos had that great 24, was terrible 25. It's been terrible this year. So like, I don't know. It's just like it's the problem with like a bad team. You're like, you're selling low.
Yeah, because there's the reason they're bad is because the guys are doing badly. Yeah.
Right. I mean, if Peralta has an ERA like under 3.5 by the trading deadline, it means the Mets are doing like pretty well and have climbed out of the bottom half of the National League, probably. Like,
I mean, the Cubs need your guys now, though. Like, that's why I'm saying they might even take Senga and like put him in the bullpen, try to fix him, get that ghost fork moving again. The dude throws hard, but
I know. I thought like maybe he could just, I mean, the problem is he can't be a reliever because he's too fragile, but like, obviously like that one inning yesterday, it's like, if you could just sort of be our closer or 7th inning guy or whatever and throw that kind of inning, but he's like, he kind of like, he needs his routine. He can't be sort of brought up, like, warmed up, down and,
how about a professional opener? Just the professional opener. Just take that first inning, do his whole routine, do his stretches, drink his latte, put his hair up in a towel, do his face mask, just get his foot rubbed, whatever he needs. But let me put up, speaking of Kodai Senga, because here's somebody that a lot of Cub fans were disappointed that we did not get. And that ghost fork was the talk of the league when he first came out. And it just has been real downward trajectory for the last couple of years, partly because of injury. But I'm going to put up the Fanarchy field notes from Ace. I screenshotted this, and I'll just read what it says. Cubs capitalized on Kodai Senga's rough outing, scoring 5 runs in the second inning, including a 3-run shot from Pete Crow Armstrong, former Met farmhand, making it 5-0 early. Dansby Swanson somehow got out of his slump here in New York, was a force, going 2 for 3 with a homer and a double. 4 ribbies, driving in key runs to keep the Cubs in control through the night. Edward Cabrera pitched 5 solid innings, allowing just 2 earned runs before the last play of his night, where he was going to be done anyway. He was at 98 pitches or something like that. And the last play of the night, he tried to do the splits like Anthony Rizzo. It didn't work out, and he had left with a hamstring strain. And that's another pitcher down. No word on how long he's going to be out, but it looked from the look on the wincing on his face, it looked like he might be out for a while. He looked like he was in massive pain. And then in the 8th, Carson Kelly doubled to drive in Nico Horner, and then Swanson had another double, extending the lead to 9-3. The Cubs at that point had scored. Let's hear it.
9 times.
And then the Mets made a late push. I was getting a little nervous there.
Were you? I wasn't nervous for you.
I was, because this is the Cubs. I'm telling you, the Cub fans think we're having the Mets season. So the same season, because we have blown games like this as recently as Saturday. Okay. So we've blown some games late. We were winning 5-0 on Saturday. We ended up losing to the Giants, I want to say. But, Bo Bichette hit a homer, made it 9-6 or 6-9 to make the score very nice. And thank you, Ace, for that wonderful recap.
Yeah, I'm glad it's I've been working on Ace. You know, he sometimes hallucinates, but it sounds like that he nailed this one.
Michael Cotton has, on our daily show Cubs Pod, has been reading of everything Ace says and criticizing him from time to time, you know, about like, because sometimes he seems like he's cheering for both teams, or, you know, or
he's not cheering enough for the Cubs or something.
I think Michael Cotton probably thinks that he's cheering too much, to be honest, because he wants Ace. If he's truly going to be a Cubs fan and act about the Cubs, he's got to complain and when the Cubs do well, even like he can't.
Yeah, you know,
ever be
it's a careful balance. Like I've tried versions of this where it's more emotional. You know, and it just sounds like super false and fake. I found like the sort of best balance is like the emojis, you know, just kind of like give that little hint of emotion. There was a when it references like we, like, you know, we're going to have to do better or something like that. Like, it's like, okay, that's cool. You know, like he's on our side, you know, but if it's like, if it's too much hoo-ha, then it just sounds like, who's this faker AI thing, you know, like trying to be like a human.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy Ace. It's a nice recap. And to be honest, like as far as AI goes, because if I'll ask ChatGPT who's pitching this weekend, and it'll bring up guys who haven't been on the team since 2009. And you're like, what? Where did it get this from? It's like,
yeah. No, it's
Ryan
it's
Dempster.
a lot of wrangling. I mean, actually the way it works behind the scenes is like every time it like pulls something down from AI, it has to validate it. And I have all these hooks to sort of actually validate against the actual box score. And then it like, if it validation fails, it has to just go like try AI a different way, or, you know, something to get it right. It's a lot of wrangling of that Ace. Do you see my screen? I'm sure
I do. Can I share it?
Yeah.
I'll put that up there. There's a screenshot from Fanarchy. This is the Mets feed.
This is the Mets feed. Here we can go to the Cubs feed.
Yeah, each team has their own feed. I was popping back and forth between the Mets and the Cubs feed last night, talking trash about the Mets on your feed.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, which I'm sure was appreciated by your fans.
Okay, so one thought I was like, Bichette, it was so terrible at the beginning of the year, right? So bad. And I'm like, you know, Bichette's been like pretty hot recently. Okay, so tap on him, and I'm like, okay, you know, like that's not super nice. But then I was like, okay, last 30 days, like doing quite well. Last 14 days, like even better. You know,
this is my favorite thing that you've built in recently is being able to tag players, and you could always pull up the guys, right? You could pull up stats.
Yeah. So he's been doing pretty well. So like, I was like, you know, I've been feeling good about Bichette. Now, like he's sort of dropped off the last 7 days. That's not great. But then I was like looking at you guys, like, you know, before the game started last night. Dansby.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because he's been terrible this year. Look at that. 194 on the season, which is actually a lot higher than it's been for a month. He was not in the 170s and just sitting there.
Yikes. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, last 7 is going to look pretty good.
See,
like that's a last 7, like, right?
1.842 OPS, 3 dongs in 7 days. Look at him. He's out of his slump. Woohoo!
Right. Yeah. And I was looking at Crow Armstrong. I mean, it's like
out of hands.
Okay, you know, it's like that's those are impressive numbers, right? It's like better than last year, right? Great. He's doing well. And then again, I was like last 30 days, it's like what like this.
He's Ted Williams, 11 home runs. and this was right after I don't know if you saw this White Sox fan that was screaming at him from like this like picnic area, the White Sox game, and he turned around and he said some things that I will not repeat this early in the evening to this girl. He had to apologize and do all this.
He got slapped on the wrist for that one. I didn't see the slapping on the wrist. I just saw the
he
clip.
might have got a little fine. I don't remember it. But he anyway. Ever since then, he has just been on fire. Look at that, betting 467 in the last 2 weeks. And can I just say he's not even a starting all-star because people, I don't know, they just.
Well, yeah, you have to be like hot in April and May or whatever to do that. I mean, even like last 7, I think it's even. I mean, look at that, 500.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a breakout. I was like, feeling good about my guy Bichette here, and it's like, no, that's a breakout. Swanson's clearly a breakout. Who else is?
But he was totally worth those 2 months of Javi Baez, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, and how's Bregman's defense going this year? Is it really good defense?
Yeah, he's got brick hands. The thing is, it's weird with Bregman because it's not that we didn't need him. It's good to get some veteran know-how out there, but he hasn't been good. His average, look at it, 154 last 7 days. That's been kind of going for a while. He's been pretty disappointing this entire year. But the issue with him is that we already had somebody to fill that position in Matt Shaw. Matt Shaw was like the rookie who with good hands,
right,
good bat, first round pick, and they're not giving him a chance. And look, his average is higher. He's been a little bit hurt. So it's not like it's the greatest, but you give somebody like this a chance and maybe they can flourish. But he's blocked right now, so they're making him play right field and DA.
That is do all the same thing happened with us. Like they brought in Bichette to play third when Beatty has, he's been choppy, but like last season, solid for third base,
homers,
solid.
And average.
The second half was even better. And it sort of felt like Beatty's got the third base job now. He took it from Vientos because Vientos sucked last year. And he's got the third base job. Then they bring in Bichette. And they were like, oh, Beatty, you're going to be a super utility guy. You're going to play right field and you do some first base. And he's playing all over the field. And he's been terrible at the plate. I mean, absolutely terrible. And I can't imagine that feeling of I've got this and I've earned it, and I'm not letting off the gas and sort of starting to suck or something. I've got it. I've earned it. And it's going to be mine. And then it's taken away from you. And then I'm going to run around, learn right field instead of learning how to, hit a curveball harder. It's just I don't know. I feel for the guy. I feel like that was
they mess with him and they screw up the development. And meanwhile, just like the Cubs do, the Mets are the kings of getting a dude that's past his prime. You buy high, and I mean, look at the Freddie Peralta deal, for example. It's you unload a bunch of dudes, give them to the Brewers, ruin our lives in the Central. And then Freddie Peralta is a serviceable starter for you. He was lights out for the Brewers. They know exactly when to trade their tools or their toys.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess it was necessary. I think about it as sort of, I don't know. I don't know how the front office actually thinks about it, but I think about it in terms of sort of risk and upside, the floor and the ceiling and all that. And it's with the Peralta deal, we raise the floor and the ceiling a bit on our rotation. Where Sprout, I was thinking at the time of the trade, I was Sprout could be as good as Peralta this year. Now it turns out first 2 months he was not. He's pretty bad, and then he threw a no hitter through 6 innings 2 nights ago or something like that. But overall he's not been that strong. So I didn't love it at the time, but I could admit it lowered the risk on the rotation to have someone like Peralta over an unproven entity like Sprout. But now I'm yeah, 6 years the Brewers got that guy. Who knows what Jet Williams is going to turn into, and we're going to unload Peralta for probably not top 100 prospect if this sort of performance keeps up.
Not if you trade with the Cubs, because we don't have any. We don't have top 100 prospects. That's just not our thing. We already traded them. Anybody we had. So let me read. Do you mind if I read Ace's game 2 Fanarchy Field notes here?
Yeah.
Because this is really what I'm impressed about. Dansby Swanson was the star of the show, smashing 2 homers and driving in 7 runs to lead the Cubs past the Mets. His grand slam in the 8th sealed the deal. And after falling behind 3-0, the Cubs roared back with a 4-run 5th, highlighted by Michael Busch's 2-run homer. That tied the game at 3. Javier Assad kept the Mets in check. It was pretty average Assad outing, about a strikeout inning, couple of walks, a bunch of hits. But he, kept too many runs from scoring. Solid work from the bullpen. They didn't give up anything. And then Michael Conforto, a little Mets revenge tour, his double in the 5th brought the Cubs within 2. That was we're actually working backwards here. It was part of the 4-run 5th when the Cubs came back. With this win, the Cubs have now captured 2 straight, improving their record to 42-37, 5 games over 500. Things are looking up as they eye the second half of the season. Ace likes us.
Yeah, as he should. 5 games over 500. You guys are kicking ass and taking names, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't know about that. We're in 3rd place.
It's been a streaky season, right? Right? It's been a streaky season. That can always throw people for a loop. It's hard to zoom out, when you're have a long losing streak or something going on.
Well, and it really comes down to the depth, because we lost Cabrera last night to injury. We found out Justin Steele's not coming back. And then Ben Brown, who's been lights out. I thought he might go to the All-Star game. He had a problem with his neck a couple years ago where he was on the injured list forever. They couldn't figure out what was going on. Now his neck hurts again. So who knows what's happening there. So they're having trouble sticking these guys on the field. So I'm telling you, if you want to, maybe Peralta, it's his little audition tomorrow night for the Cubbies. And we just hand somebody walks right across the dugout, shake hands, and they go and they move in with Jared Young because they knew him from the minors.
Who's pitching for you guys tomorrow night?
Who is pitching for well, I'll put it up. Have it here. Game 4 is Boyd. Boyd is back.
I see. Boyd. So I guess trading Peralta to the Cubs before the game would probably push Boyd's start back a day. Maybe
I think we should. Well, we got the Brewers. I think we got the. I don't think so. We've been waiting for Boyd to come off the IL for over a month. He was playing Legos with his kid and ended up blowing out his knee. And I would love, but we got the Brewers this weekend, so I would love Freddie Peralta, Friday Night Lights.
Friday night. So okay, if he was traded before the game tomorrow, you guys would hold him back a day.
Yeah.
To start Friday.
All right. Friday against his old friends, the Brewers, where they'll probably put up 10 runs in 2 innings on it. That's Cub.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. We'll see what happens. Maybe Stearns will, despite his measured response in the press conference, maybe he will, have a deal that he can't turn down from the Cubbies.
They're definitely on the phone. They're probably not on the phone. They're over at Gibson Steakhouse right now. They're trying to work out something, trying to get Peralta.
Just take all you guys. Take them all. Wait, I should do a shout out to over in the Mets feed here. Got Michael here.
I know you said you got to go, and I always just talk everybody's.
Oh no, yeah. No, actually, I'll show you a few more things before.
Show me a few more things, and then we'll go to commercial.
All right. So Michael here, I was thinking about this earlier. So Michael, he's a Fanarchy user, and I think this sums it up nicely. I've been watching this team since the 70s, so I've seen it all. Even back then, they at least played hard and they tried. This team just gives up after they fall behind. Get rid of as much veteran dollars as possible. Keep Lindor and Soto. Maybe those two could have a powwow together in a treehouse. The word is that they don't like each other.
Oh,
and actually, the word is they don't like each other, and that you cannot help but think that they're trying to avoid each other by getting injured when the other one comes back, because they've only played a couple games together the whole season. But and iron out whatever differences they have.
Even on the team, Juan Soto, he went out with his back. He was wearing a big old back brace, and Lindor's
right. But it was a little bit of and they were a little ambiguous about the kind of. It was the back didn't feel quite right. The game before. Lindor's supposed to come back. It's Anyway, they got to work it out and spend some real money on starting pitching and let the kids fill in the rest of the defense. Oh yeah, and trade Vientos. We all hate Vientos. I mean, Vientos has been so bad.
Oh wow, that's
so,
why do you hate Vientos?
Well, he's we obviously loved him at 24, but he's been really bad this year for sure. Can't hit right-handed pitching at all. He got his opportunity when, a bunch of injuries of Polanco and Lindor. So he had an opportunity to play first base every day. Oh, and Jared Young, who's kind of a quadruple A guy, but
yeah,
I guess he
former
right-handed.
quadruple A Cubby. He was
right, but he mashes mashes right-handed pitching. Anyway, but they gave Vientos the first base job, and he was just terrible. I mean, he was bad at first base. He couldn't hit right-hand pitching. He went like a long time between hits, and then his like press, when he talked to the press, it would be a little like, I think I'm doing a pretty good job out there. And he'd like post on Instagram, like stuff with his girlfriend, like of him being like kick ass and stuff. And it's like, it's like when the team's like so bad and you're like contributing to them being so bad. And then you sort of act like it's all good, so that doesn't really make people like you or root for you to kind of turn the slump around. So
that's why people were mad about the gate, because they unleashed it on the same day we lost. They were like, oh, just making gates instead of winning ball games, are you? It was like,
yeah. And I guess the one other thing I wanted to show you that's new is that you can now tag people that you went to games with.
This is awesome. This is what Michael Cotton's been dreaming of.
Yeah. So I don't know why it says no contacts found, but maybe it's just because it's like my debug device. But you can hook in your contacts. It'll find people in your contacts that are either on Fanarchy already, or you can send them invite directly, or you can take people here and like tag them in the game that you were at with them, and they will show up on the list here as a little grayed out, and then they get a notification. They can accept it, and then they are added and linked to you on that game. So you can do it any game in the past. I had somebody, I just launched this, and a very dedicated Yankees fan sent 150 tags to his son. Because they had the same last name. So 150 tags to his son about all the games that they've been to together. So now I'm like, I need to add like some place so you can like mass accept your tags or something.
Poor kids spending all night. Dad, you totally screwed up my night.
Yeah.
Well, I love it because I feel like we're in on the ground floor of a very cool app that has all the information you need to be a smart fan, but also to become, it's like a social media app where you can, talk trash, put up funny GIFs, things like that. Yep. And not that doesn't exist already. It does on, Twitter and on just our Discord channel and stuff where we hang out during the games. But this is MLB centric, and it's such a robust app as far as like the things you're adding with being able to tag the players and to look up their stats and have comparative stats from their years. And, it gets better all the time. So,
I'm constantly improving it and improving it based on what everybody tells me. Like, the app mention, you voted for the app mention that pushed that one over the top. I also added podcasts here.
Yeah, there we are. There's Bleacher Bunch. There's me.
Yep, there you are, and a bunch of other ones. And
Locked
this has
on
been
Cubs, Chuggo.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's just like also just great. I mean, I've been using it obviously as a Mets fan, just like discovering podcasts that I hadn't heard before, and I'm loving that. And then I'm starting to like build out a lot more in the scrapbook. Like that's the sort of part of it that I think is really differentiated that people kind of have noticed is like the kind of more like the kind of like magical part of the app, where you can connect your photo library and it finds all the games that you've taken photos at and then makes a scrapbook out of it. And so I'm starting to invest more and more in that part of the app as well.
What I wish I could do, and maybe I'll talk to you offline about this. I have so many photographs in my photo library on my computer. but they're all at their time and date and geotags and stuff like that. But I would have to put them on my phone and then but it's too many pictures. So someday if I could ever
because you don't sync everything in the Photos app. It's like on your computer.
On my because there's so many. I take so many photographs. It's like gigabytes and gigabytes of stuff. It doesn't even fit on my phone. But
well, I mean,
okay. I know where I was.
I have one source of photos right now, which is Apple Photos, but certainly like adding other sources of photos is getting higher on the list, like Google Photos or whatnot.
I just have not iPhoto, but photos from on my Mac app.
Yeah,
on my Mac on the computer, so on a hard drive.
All right, well, shoot me a note offline. We'll see what we can do about that. We got to get all of your games in here.
Oh my God, that would be incredible. It actually would be embarrassing. You're like, you spent how much time at the ballpark? You drunk? Get it together,
pride,
Ryan.
Man. It's pride.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I love Fanarchy. I'm on there every night and talking about the games and stuff. And you should join us over there if you're not over there yet. Definitely give it a whirl. And Britt, good luck the rest of the series. I mean, we got Cubs, Mets, 2 more. I mean,
anything can happen, man. It's a long season. We'll see.
We'll take Senga off your hand. We'll figure out something to do with him, as long as you give us a good deal on Peralta because we need him.
All right, we'll talk. All
right. We'll make a deal offline.
All right.
Cool. Well, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then we're gonna bring on our friend Uncle Mike, also a Mets fan. And another Mike is coming on too, but you know him is Mike Waller. He's from the Cubs PS Plus podcast, and he'll be here to hang out with us. In the meantime, I'm going to play a couple commercials. Here's the first one from Fanarchy. And Britt, have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk to you next time we talk to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Cool.
Right on, dude. Yeah. All right, we'll be right back.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there because I was entrenched in the awesome new baseball fan app called Fanarchy. It's the best way to keep up on Cubs and baseball news and follow every game live. But what I like best is the game search feature. I can find any game in history by describing it and say I was there. Gabby Hartnett hits a big homer, and there it is. The lineups, the box score. Oh, I can reminisce about being there at the homer and the gloaming. People don't say gloaming about dusk like they used to. Let's try another. Babe Ruth calls his shot and hits a homer at Wrigley Field. And there it is, Charlie freaking Root. What a bum. Anywho, I love Fanarchy, so I wrote them a song. Get off Facebook, get off X. The Fanarchy app is the best. For all the Cubs baseball news I need, I always use Fanarchy.
The Bleacher Bunch brings you great shows like Sun Ranto, Cubs PS Plus, Bricks Behind the Ivy, Cuppa Cubby Blue, and Baseball Rabbit Hole. But you could be getting so much more when you subscribe to our Patreon page for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/BleacherBunch. Get access to our exclusive daily show Cubs Pod, where we recap every single game. Plus, be the first to hear Cubs music, get early access to events, and receive an invitation to join our Discord Cubs community, where fans just like you show up every day to rant and rave about our beloved boys in blue. Most importantly, 10% of your Patreon pledge will go directly to help the Lost Boys Youth Baseball program. So join us. There are perks at every level, like the Renter Calendar, absolutely free, and name recognition for you or your business. We are independent Cubs podcasters, and we need your support. Otherwise, we'll quit. Seriously, we'll all quit. Some of us might even die from your lack of support. In fact, the cutest little puppy you've ever seen will die if you don't support the Bleacher Bunch at patreon.com/BleacherBunch. We promise to spend all the Patreon money on tickets and beer and all the dog crap we have to buy just to keep our podcast rolling. So give us your money, and we'll waste it far better than you will. Patreon.com/BleacherBunch. Free trials are available, but don't do a free trial. Just join, okay? Okay. Patreon.com/BleacherBunch.
Hey there! As you can see, I'm a talking penguin. No, I'm not like the Batman kind of penguin or Ron Say or that dumb fuck Happy Feet. No, I'm the spokes penguin for Penguin Imprints, who makes awesome imprinted items with original designs. And they do custom stuff too. Well, check this out. And this. How do you like this, Chicago? And I love this one. And this might sound a little weird coming from a penguin, but fuck ice indeed. Penguin Imprints also makes custom t-shirts and stickers for your event or organization. And because they're sponsors, listeners of the Bleacher Bunch Network can get 20% off any order at penguinimprints.com with the code BleacherBunch. Okay, that's enough about Penguin Imprints. Now I gotta go find that little bitch Happy Feet and put his smirking beak on the other side of his head. I hate that fucker. But man, do I love Penguin Imprints.
When I was young, I spent some time across with me Uncle Mike.
And now, on the Son Ranto Show, it's always got to be a two-mic show, no matter what kind of Son Ranto show we do. We need
where's Scott?
And once again, we have two mics to show. One of them is Uncle Mike. Didn't know, Mike, before I showed you the song Uncle Mike by, I don't know, there's some Irish band. Were you aware of this song, Uncle Mike?
Never. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
All right, cool. No, not at all. I was like, who's that? And why does he have my name? But you know what? I've come to find out that there's a lot of Uncle Mikes walking around. So I bet you this Mike's an Uncle Mike too, probably, right?
Yeah,
I'm not actually.
Mike Waller, you're not an Uncle Mike?
Wow,
I'm not.
surprising. That's
No
surprising.
siblings with children.
Correct.
You could be one of those, like, my friend's got a kid, uncle kind
Yes.
of guys.
So
Yeah.
in that sense, yeah, I'm Uncle Mike.
Oh, very cool.
How
Welcome.
do I sound? I'm out on my balcony. Hopefully, there's not too much background noise.
You sound like you're kind of like inside of a Tupperware, but that's fine though, because it's not a bad sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice background though. I
Yeah.
dig it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
beautiful
nice day.
background. You got the sky, the beautiful sky behind you, a nice tree. Look at Uncle Mike. He's got a recliner and another chair. Look at me. I got a bunch of. I look like I'm in Sanford and Son.
I'm in my
I've got kids home
temporary.
from college, so my pod space is a little occupied at the moment.
Gotcha. Well, welcome everybody to talk about
Hey,
that series that we're halfway through.
wait! 1 second. We're talking Mets. I thought we were talking Knicks in 5, baby.
Congratulations.
I
I was
we're
in New York.
talking Knicks.
I was in New York City when they won it too. So I was across the river in New Jersey, but I was there walking around Times Square the day before, and
That's
the
dope.
city was so electric. I went down by Madison Square Garden, and there people were selling the unauthorized T-shirts everywhere, and just everybody was so excited. And then on top of it, you had the World Cup going on. So it was
Yeah.
you have fans from all over the world. I mean, New York is always a place.
Carolina Hurricanes, baby.
Yeah.
Right. That was going on too. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, New York's always a place that has a lot going on. There's a reason they call it a New York Minute, right? But at the same time, that was a particularly a lot, even for New York.
Yeah.
Yes.
All that going on. So
I was in San Antonio for game 2. I didn't have tickets. I'm not that rich, but I took the drive. I was in San Antonio for game 2 and game 5. And just to be in that town that was sort of overrun by Knicks fans. And anyway, San Antonio fans are trying to say no, but if you were anywhere downtown or anywhere in that arena, it was a takeover. It's a new thing now. I feel bad for other teams because I think that's going to be a trend for New York fans now. We're just going to fly into your city or drive into your city and take it over. So it was cool. Really cool.
You're still not going to be like the Tartan Army, though.
Oh,
yeah. Or all those Norwegians at City Field today. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was crazy. But it was cool though.
Well, given that there was a rain out on Monday, then
Right.
so it was a pretty poorly attended game because of that. If you had tickets, you probably had to work at that point. It is a
Yep.
Wednesday, but not for the Norwegians. You know, if there's anything that the World Cup proves is that the rest of the world gets more vacation time than Americans because these people have an entire month to come fuck off in the United States. Like we never could. We're like, well, I'm gonna fly in, we're gonna catch a game, then I gotta come back and gotta work next week.
I
You know,
know.
like that's
I
how
know.
Americans roll. You know, it's bullshit.
They've been here for like 2 weeks, right, or something. It's
They're
amazing.
gonna stay 2 more. They're gonna be here till the final on the 19th or whatever.
Yeah. Some people have money.
Yeah. Well, that's because they don't have to shell it all out for healthcare.
That's right.
That's it.
So,
Good point. Good point.
So we've seen a couple of games. Me and Britt just talked about what has come so far. We talked about the Mets' incredibly disappointing season. Obviously, Uncle Mike, you don't care because you're like, fuck them. I'm still riding high on the Knicks.
Pretty much.
But I made a joke earlier that Cub fans think the Cubs are having the season the Mets are having.
Yes. You're right.
Yeah, congratulations, you guys. You know, I'm a fair fan, and I'm a fan of baseball. So I never come on this show rooting against the Cubs until it's a head-to-head battle. But you guys are just spanking us, so I really don't have much to say. I don't think we've recovered from that April stretch where we lost like 12 games in a row, and I think you guys swept us at the end of that stretch. I don't think we've quite recovered from that yet. I think we've tried a little bit within the last, say, maybe 3 weeks, but I don't know. These last couple of games, I mean, Philadelphia just put it on us, man. It was really embarrassing, and I don't know what to say, man. I remember looking at the standings, feeling optimistic, saying, "Oh, so well, we're only like 7 games out of no 5. It was 5 games. I think it was last week. We're only 5 games out of the wild card," and I was like optimistic. I think that number is like 11 now.
Well, it's not that bad, but it's 8 right
now.
8.
So, okay, yeah, thanks, 8, man.
But if you look at your standings outside of...
we're 11 games under 500 probably. 12 games under 500.
Yeah,
right?
You're 11 games under 500, and you're 14 and a half out of first place in the East.
Who's counting first place, dude? Come on now.
I mean, you're behind the Nationals right now, who actually are above 500 this year with a bunch of young players. And I wonder a couple things because you're right. We've been spanking the crap out of you the last 2 games, 9 runs, 10 runs. Dansby Swanson Mike.
Who?
Well, now you know him well from his days with the Braves because he was always around. But my question is for Waller, like, is this for real? Like, is this the moment that Dansby Swanson plays in the back of his baseball card?
I mean, it had to be coming. I mean, nothing in his career says like 160 hitter. I mean, even a bad year for him, he's going to hit 240. Like, this had to happen, unless he's playing hurt or there's some other flaw. But I think he goes in these streaks. He'll go on a heater for 10 games, and he hasn't had one yet this season. So maybe he'll go on a heater for 20 games. I don't know, but it's good to see.
He's going to have to go on for 50 games to get to the back of his baseball card because he will to get to the back of his baseball card. He will have to be one of the best hitters in baseball for the rest of the season. I think, because it's been so abysmal. I think it's time for the Swanometer.
Yes.
For in the bleachers, like the old Shawanometer. Do you remember that from the 80s?
I definitely do.
Maybe late 80s, early 90s. Was it in the 90s or it was just in the 80s?
Definitely started in the 80s. I remember. I think he was with the Cubs till like 93 or 94, so probably stayed the whole time.
Sean Dunston, a New Yorker, born in Brooklyn, and he had a terrible start to his season, and then he started kind of coming out of it, and some fan made the Shawanometer, and he had that out it just kept track of his numbers on this placard. And we saw the ever rising Shawanometer. I think we can get one of those for Swanson. At least get on TV and have Boog tell some story that has nothing to do with anything about it. But it's been tough for the Cubs this year, but not as tough as it's been for the Mets. Like, it's really just kind of shocking the tank that happened, and I do wonder about a sell-off coming. Maybe even sooner than later.
I really don't get it. I mean, with the guys they have, they should not be this bad.
Yeah, well,
but they are.
I mean, you've got Lindor's been hurt, Soto's been hurt. They've had the same problems with some of the pitching that the Cubs have had. You kind of wish Kodai Senga was hurt because then there'd be an excuse to be why he's so terrible.
I think a lot of it. I think a lot of it, and the word for the Mets so far this season has been inconsistent. We have a brand new team. We shipped out a bunch of guys. And no more Nimmo, no more McNeil, no more Diaz goes to the Dodgers. Which
Conforto's on the Cubs. He's an old Mets guy.
I know.
It's a little bit.
And we brought in some new guys, and at first I thought most Mets fans, and I still think, well, not after today. Today's a different story in terms of whether we still, I believe or we believe. But I think a lot of us was just kind of waiting, hoping that the team would gel. Francisco Alvarez was out for a long stretch. He's now
Cub
back.
Killer.
And seems to be really swinging the bat again. Let's think about it this way too. Lindor and Soto have only played in like 8 games the whole season. And again, guys, I'm not here to bring out the excuses, but we've been inconsistent, and something has to happen. And if it don't happen like really soon, we're in trouble, man. I mean, what do we got to win? Like we got to go like 45 and maybe 30 to make the playoffs. I mean, it's really looking bad right now.
And if you were in the AL, that might work out fine,
right?
Because the AL is like a poverty league right now. And in fact, I think the Blue Jays are in their 3rd wild card spot right now, and they're under 500.
They're under 500 with every All-Star player ever.
It's so wide. I mean, just all you got to do is stuff the ballot box. I mean, I finally did vote the other day, and I did vote for. Well, I voted all Cubs because I'm that kind of homer. I didn't even vote for the AL because they don't deserve it. Here's my ballot. Just
my
all
favorite
Cubs.
is I heard a story about talking about the Blue Jays and the ballot stuffing, and the Dodgers are doing it too. And it's so bad that Hyesung Kim is 4th among second basemen, but he's in AAA right now.
Yeah. Well, the Cubs did it in 2016 and Addison Russell got to be on the All-Star team because people were so jazzed about that team. They just like stuffed the ballot box and got the vote. I remember doing it. I voted 50 times. I think you could vote 50 times. I think I did all 50. But let me ask you about this play that happened in the game yesterday when Michael Busch was at the plate. PCA was at first base. PCA went to steal second base as Michael Busch got walked. And so it's just PCA is forced to second, should be first and second at that point. But because PCA was stealing, he went down and he tried to, get the base as if he didn't know what had happened with Michael Busch. Yeah. And so, but he got the base, came off the base, the tag stayed on, he got his hand back in, but technically that is the rule. If you hit the base and then come off and then you got the tag on you, you're out. And so that was the correct call. But how did you feel about that play? I mean, in your soul, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. I think that's one where I get the letter of the law. I get like, if it was a normal walk and he just jogs down there and then somehow stupidly steps off the base and gets tagged, cool. That's baseball. But that one felt like a continuation. And I wouldn't mind seeing them address the rule because he didn't know if it was a strike or a ball. And so he was trying to slide in. And I think there should be a point where the stolen base stops and you say, no, it's ball 4. Because the second base didn't even make a call. He just said ball 4.
Ball 4.
He didn't make safe or out call. I feel like there should be a chance to kind of hit the bag and set. But technically, the way the rule's written, he touched the bag, which he established himself on the bag and then came off, but it was all on the same slide. So I think it's kind of junk.
Brett Taylor from Bleacher Nation also made the case for obstruction on that play because he didn't give him a sliding path, but you don't really have to on that stolen base. Yeah, that's where they stand. He was standing,
but I mean, he got his hand through. So I don't know. I could see the argument for it, but they're never going to call it.
Yeah, no. So it was just kind of a bullshit play. And we've seen stuff like that before. Like I remember in 2017 when the Cubs were playing the Nationals and, the foot came off the base so slightly. And that was enough to rule them out or safe or, either way, the call went our way. And it just was not in the spirit of why we use,
Right.
why we use replays. You get it right, but it's almost too right.
But at least if it's going to happen, it happens when the Cubs were up 7-2. So that was better.
Yeah, it didn't matter in the game at all, but and then it's bullshit. But good on the Mets though for seeing it and being like, hey, he came off. I want to review that. We're gonna get that out in a 7-2 game. I love that because it makes me think that these dudes are just sitting around playing cards, being like, you know what? If we can get the guy off the base after a walk in one of those situations, and then they wait for like somebody to be on first base in a stealing situation, like let's test it, and then
yes,
because it could have been that because I don't even know if he saw him take his hand off.
Yeah, he might not.
How could you even see that? So tonight we got the battle of the lefties, Imanaga and Manaya. Imanaga seems to have gotten his shit together. He was giving up home runs to the world and now last couple outings has been pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And Uncle Mike, like Manaya, bit of a disappointment, right, for Mets fans, or how you feel about Sean Manaya?
I'm trying to be optimistic, but I really can't. I mean, everything that was great about him, a year ago is now turned to everything bad. I mean, I'm trying to be nice, Rocket. I don't want to say, I want to say
it was worse.
Have you seen this show?
Last year was worse. He had a
no, the year before when he had that breakout, the breakout year, and we thought he was going to be our number one. That's so long ago.
3 WAR season in 2024, negative 0.3 last year, and he's worth nothing for you this year. 464 earned run average.
Yeah, I mean, he's 1-2. His ERA is ridiculous. I mean, I wish I could say something nice, but I'm not very confident about his start today, to be honest with you. The only good thing about the start today is that Lindor will play today. That's the only thing that's positive about tonight's game.
I'll put up the numbers,
Give me the
numbers against each other. And the Mets they haven't seen a lot of Imanaga, but they like facing.
Yeah, he's 4.64 ERA. I mean, that's not terrible considering Senga was over 10.
Yeah.
And by the way, Mendoza, Carlos' manager, said today that he's putting Senga in the bullpen. So
I heard that. Yeah. And
I think Bregman and Bush like facing Manaya.
Yeah, Bregman Bregman's got 3 dongs, but it took him 40 tries. But he's got an 823 OPS. Bush has a dong batting 400, but it's only in 5 tries. Happ has a homer too, and so does Carson Kelly, but he's only batting 143. So that's like a 2 for 21. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag, but Francisco Alvarez really is a Cubs killer. He's 1 for 2 against Imanaga. One of those is, of course, a home run because, of course, it is. And let me give you some of his numbers against the Cubs in his career. Alvarez is slashing 365, 459, 769 slug for a 1.228 OPS.
That's Ozzie Albies territory.
Exactly. He's got 6 home runs in 61 plate appearances. So 1 out of every 10 times he's taken it deep. Just outrageous. 3 doubles.
He hit a bomb today too. That was incredible. He hit one so far.
How is he not on the Brewers?
Yeah, he's the one guy that when he comes to town with the Mets just absolutely lights us up, goes down in history as one of the greatest Cubs killers, maybe the most unsung Cubs killer of all time.
Yeah, probably so.
And so anyway, he's got a dong. Beatty's got a dong off Imanaga. So does Lindor, who's playing tonight and is batting is 3 for 6.
Cool.
So Imanaga, man, I really like him. I think he's been a solid Chicago Cub, but when you see a situation where you're giving up dong after dong after dong, like Kyle Hendricks got to that point in his career where they just had figured him out. Like, I don't know if he was tipping or something he was doing is being like, oh, here comes the fastball. And,
But with him, there was a big, and I think there's a similar thing in play with Shota. With Hendricks, when he was up close to 90, he could play, had enough differential with his changeup, made a big difference. But when he fell down to only throwing like 86, 87, and his changeup's coming out 83, 84, there's just not enough change. And we see that with Shota. When he's able to get that rising fastball up to like 94, so it plays a little more like 96 sometimes, it's great. But when he's throwing 91, 92, he's just not the same pitcher.
Can I ask you guys something? And I wonder if you saw this. It wasn't Manaya's last start. It was a start, well, quote unquote, start before that. Carlos Mendoza did something really strange. I don't think I've ever seen it before. And I'm wondering if you guys saw that game or heard about it. Actually, this guy's like one of my favorite guys in terms of names in all of the major league. And I'm talking Huasca Brazoban. That's a great name. All right.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
So what Carlos did was he had Brazoban pitched 2 innings prior to Manaya coming in. I had never seen
so it was an opener kind of thing.
Yeah, it was an opener thing. I don't know if he's going to pull that bag of tricks out again tonight, but I was just wondering if you guys ever see. When I saw that, I was like, "What's going on here?"
Cubs have done it a few times. Sometimes they'll do it like if they don't have a guy stretched out, like they've done it with Colin Ray. It just lets the starter start at the bottom part of the order, or if they've got like a lefty pocket somewhere, you can kind of wait and aim and bring him in there. It happens sometimes. I don't love it, but I mean, sometimes it works. So
yeah, and it's a Brazoban had that's a great name, Huascar Brazoban. That's amazing. Yeah, you can set your watch by a name like that.
Brazoban.
Yeah, and he actually has some experience starting, so it wasn't a totally. He had started 3 games last year. He started 6 this year, but as you're saying, that some of those are opener games. Maybe all of them are. But it helps out. Some guys, baseball's such a heady sport.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I think the Cubs did that. Didn't they do that when they played one of the games they played Philly? They started Theobar because they have all those lefties at the top and got through that, and then I think it was Colin Ray come in after.
It usually has to do which hand everybody wipes their butt with when they do that. Yeah,
that's the most important thing.
It is the most important thing in baseball. I think I have to play the drop.
Now the most important thing in baseball is the hand you wipe your butt with.
It's true. It's true.
I'm a lefty.
So always shake Mike's right hand. That's what I've just learned. That's what I've just learned. And then tomorrow it's going to be a future Cub, Freddie Peralta versus Matthew Boyd, back from the injured list after getting injured playing Legos with his kids.
So is Freddie Peralta looking at those numbers?
Freddie Peralta has a lot of experience versus the Cubs, and it's
ex-Brewer, ex-Seattle Mariner, right?
Ex-Brewer, and our numbers against him are not great because of it, although some guys have lit him up. Like, look at Ian Happ. He's got 2 home runs in 34 tries, but he's batting .088. Michael Busch, 19 at-bats, 2 home runs, but batting 105. So a lot of guys have home runs. Swanson is batting .091, but he has a home run. Suzuki, 1 home run, batting 125. Like, do you see a theme here? Nico Horner, 31 at-bats, 1 home run, batting 161. So they're just coming up there and swinging out of their shoes. The only one that does well against him overall is PCA. 13 at-bats, smaller sample size, batting 385.
But remember, Danny, he no longer gets to carry around the Milwaukee Brewers double magic.
True. So maybe we can light him up finally. And then Matthew Boyd back from the IL. So we really need him because we just had 2 of our starting pitchers go down on the same day. Ben Brown goes on the injured list on a day he didn't even pitch. So, and it's his neck again, which he had a problem with.
You know what the season now is reminding me of, Danny? Do you remember 1985?
I do. And there was
When-
that picture in Vine Line when all 5
Yeah.
starters were down.
Cubs were cruising. So Uncle Mike, the Cubs were, it was after they won the division in 84. They're fighting with the Mets. Cubs were, I think it was up 6 games in the middle of June. They had that picture of all the rotation. Within 3 weeks, the entire rotation was on the injured list.
Wow.
Including Steve Trout falling off an exercise bike, which I still find the best thing ever.
Well, especially now that we know that Steve Trout was at January 6th. So it's like anything bad that happens to that guy is actually a plus for humanity. At this point.
Rocket, I'm not gonna go hard on Freddie because it might be the New York crowd and playing in New York. I mean, it's a big difference playing in Citi Field and being in New York and playing in Milwaukee. Fans, don't DM me. I love Milwaukee. You guys have great beer, but I'm gonna give him a break. His record is, what is he? 5-6 on the year. His ERA is a little up there. It's like, I think it's like 4.83.
Yeah.
He's got to cut down on the walks, though. That's been his Achilles heel so far this year. He's got 34 walks on the season. I got to give it to him. He comes out and he pitches he makes his turn. So he's not shying away from it. I'll cut him some slack. We need him, man. I'll be honest with you. We brought him here to be our ace. So I'm gonna, I'm hoping that's what's gonna happen. It'll turn into that.
You traded some pieces for him, so the Brewers got better by giving up Peralta. And,
absolutely,
that's
the devil magic again. That always happens.
I don't even the Cardinals. I'll give you the devil magic, Mike. But the Brewers, I think they're just a well-run franchise. Like if they not just.
I agree
at this point.
They're good.
God, it's
they're good.
But the only luck they have is good luck.
It is, yeah. They
yes.
never get the bad injury, I don't know. They had Yelich was down for a while, and when they did reset, it was actually an effective reset. They're like, okay, we're going to come in 5th. We're going to not be very good, and then we're going to train our guys, and then by the time we get them trained up, they'll be in first place next year, and that's the way they operate.
No Corbin Burns, no Peralta. Woodruff has never been the same, and they just don't miss a beat.
They don't miss a beat. Here comes the Miz. Just making headlines everywhere. He took freaking Paul Skeens out of the freaking top spot overnight. Like Paul Skeens, everybody was talking about how we're going to be talking about Paul Skeens and winning the Cy Young 10 years straight. And now that ain't happening.
Yeah.
So,
and they give up Hader, give up Devin Williams. It doesn't even matter.
Does not matter. Yeah. Exactly. And then they go to the other teams that even if they're okay, they're never what they were with the Brewers. They never.
That's where I buy the devil magic a little bit. Like there's no reason for Freddie Peralta to just suck now.
Yeah. Why did his ERA go up a run and a half?
Yeah.
It doesn't really track.
Well, I'll say this, and I'll watch the full game. I have to admit, I fell asleep after like the 5th inning this afternoon. It was just too much.
It was over. Yeah.
But I'll say this: Peralta, if he has a bad outing tonight, he might hear it from the Citi Field faithful.
Well, you might hear from the Chicago Cubs, who are really looking for starting pitching at this point, and relief pitching. So
I hope the Norwegians are there again tonight.
Yeah, that would be cool. Although they were in the Mets have the famous 7-line crew, which I think they were kind of in that spot. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Maybe the Norwegians and the 7-line crew will get into it. That would be cool.
A little tarps off fight. Well, the game is starting, I believe. Right? Is it on right now?
Yeah, 7:15, I think.
7:15. So
5 minutes.
We got 5 minutes on it. So let's get some predictions in. I'm going to say that the Cubs keep rocking. Dansby Swanson, 2 more grand slams. One tonight, one tomorrow.
I think TC is going to go off.
I never like to root against my team, Rocket. You know that. It's even tonight. I'll call it even.
Okay. I can see you guys lighting up Imanaga pretty good because he's had a couple of good starts. He's probably due for a stinker because that's kind of his thing. Mets like off him.
Yeah, you're right. And Lindor's first game back in a long time. I expect him to do some really cool things. So I'm rooting for them.
Yeah, I don't feel very confident about tonight personally. Just saying. Take. We had a comment about somebody wanting to gamble. Let's see, what was it? It's a Everett says, "Hey, Uncle Mike, I thought it said
Yeah.
under Mike, and I thought it should be over Mike." Okay, that was not a gambling question. That was a misread. But anyway, I do think that tonight might be one of those overnights. I
We
mean,
need
the
it.
Cubs have been putting up big offense. Like maybe they're tired from running the bases. What do you think, Waller?
Yeah, I think they'll get it done tonight. I think they'll pile up another 8 or 9 runs, but it might be 8-7, 9-6, something like that.
How about 6-7?
No, no.
And or I like another 6-9. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Everett says Cubs win 11-3. I like your attitude. Dialing it up from even last night, 9, 10, 11, and then tomorrow they score 12 off Peralta. And
Lindor
also
walks it off in the ninth. That would be nice. Lindor walks it off in the ninth.
I mean, I have a
8-7.
soft spot. I do have a soft spot for the Mets. A lot of Cub fans hate to hear that, but living in New York so long and just kind of knowing a lot of Met fans, including you, and having to live in the shadow of the Yankees, you kind of get it. And it's NL ball in a big city, and Citi Field is far superior to Banky Stadium too. It's just a better experience. Queens is cooler than the Bronx. Like, come on. Yeah.
Come on.
So just a couple quick announcements. I'm singing the national anthem on June 27th, which is Saturday, and it's a South End Cubs game. And I found out it's their big fireworks night. So I mean,
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. What a night to sing the national anthem. What makes it even cooler.
Congrats.
I've been practicing in the cemetery, so the dead people don't judge me when I go for the high F. And also, I'll be giving away Fanarchy hats on July 18th. On Crawley's birthday at the Bleacher Barbecue, so show on up there. I'll float Ken another $100 because of all the freaking ne'er-do-wells I'm going to bring to eat bratwurst off of his grill. And John Baker Day is going to be on July the 30th, but it's going to be online. And John and his brother are going to be around raising money for my musical, The Game. Mike Waller's very involved in John Baker Day and in helping me raise money. So thank you, Mike, for everything you're doing for this production and Trapdoor and everything you've done for Trapdoor Theater in the past. Because, Mike, people don't know this about you really, but you're a huge supporter of the arts in your hometown too. So
yeah, I've got a lot of family that does theater. My middle son Toby loves musicals and music, and he's been in a million things, and it's great. And I love seeing the shows, and I love having arts around. And Charlotte's got a very healthy community theater program, in addition to having the touring Broadway shows and all that. So I mean, it only stays alive because people fund it.
Hey, Mike, what's your favorite musical ever? Or maybe top 5?
It is Come From Away. The energy on that
okay.
show is off the charts.
Well, I'm an old dude, so I stick with West Side Story.
That's what I've never liked somehow.
When you're a Mike, you're a Mike.
Like all the way to the west.
Yeah,
I do love The Outsiders too. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
My upstairs neighbor passed away, and
sorry, man.
Well, it was a while ago, and her son gave me a bunch of her old records and a record player. And,
nice.
And she had some great old musicals, including West Side Story. So, I was listening to that on Idol the other night. So it's funny you bring it up.
And that rent thing was pretty good too. I have to say, Rocket.
Yeah.
That something called Rent was cool.
Yeah, that was a hell of a good time. Let me tell you.
Once I got Danny out,
Rent stories that not all I could tell. Yeah. But
you were in the OG, right?
I was in the first national tour, and then I got on Broadway filling in. Yeah. So it was incredible. I mean, I got kind of just tired of doing it just because, 2 years of doing the same show.
I do wonder how they do that for so long.
Well, some people can do it just because they like the money. And
sure.
And I started my brain does not compute. Once I am done with something, I can't do it anymore. And I started forgetting lines that I had said, 500 times, and I just like
Wow.
couldn't think of where I was. I got the yips, if you will. Like, I
Wow.
got the yips, and it's just like I got to get out of here. I got to do something else. That was before they called it ADD.
Yeah.
They didn't have that name yet. Or maybe they did in the science lab, but it wasn't mainstream. So anyway, we're doing John Baker Day, raising money for the theater. So come on out and hang out with us that night. It's good. I'm putting together an all-star cast of ne'er-do-wells to celebrate that evening, and the night the backup catcher got the win. And also save the date, September 19th. We're going to be in Cincinnati, and Cubs Reds, Billy DeVore. We're going to be hanging out at Binsky's bar, having a good time. It's going to be a good time had. So I'm going to give away a chance postcard, and you'll win my love and affection and a postcard with a message of love and doom. Only 4 people in there, so a lot of chances to win. That looks like more than 4 people, though. Maybe it is just 4. And the winner is it's Dominic. Congratulations. The mailman going to deliver it to himself. So thanks for being here, Mike and Mike.
Oh, my
Enjoyed
pleasure,
the,
man. Thanks
Loved
for
it.
having me. I really appreciate it.
And anything anybody wants to plug or add? And I know Waller, you said you're having a Cubs PS Plus with a special guest coming up.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to record tomorrow. I'll see when I get it out. But Brooke from Brooke Knows Ball is going to come on, and she's got a cool backstory, so it's going to be fun.
And what you up to, Uncle Mike?
Well, 4th of July in Mobile at Cousin Paul's house. Come by if you're in the neighborhood. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be an eat-a-thon, and we have fireworks up the yin yang. So that'll be cool. Also, of course, on social media, it's Bill's Kid, BILLSKID, all over. That's it. Come check me out. I shoot photos, and you might see something on there you might like. And then other than that, man, meet me at Summer League coming up in Vegas for NBA Summer League. We had a great event at the Verge. Can I promote this like that?
Yeah, promote whatever you want.
Oh yeah, we had a great event last year at the Virgin Hotel. We had Deuce McBride as our host. It's a consortium of my fans, my people on the West Coast called Left Coast Knicks, and the East Coast people at the Knicks Fan TV. We're putting something together as we speak. Probably the weekend of the 10th through the 13th. So meet me in Vegas at NBA Summer League. We're gonna have a blast, and then I'll come back home and I'll concentrate on my Mets. Okay.
as they make a miraculous 69 like overtaking of the Cubs.
That's what you got to believe.
So, all right. Well, thanks for being here. Enjoy the evening. Enjoy the game tonight. It's on, right? I'm having trouble getting it to because I'm stealing all the internet being on this show. So
Yeah.
I'm having trouble getting it to jazz up here. So, all right, I'm gonna play a song. We'll get the hell out of here, and we'll talk to you both very, very, very soon.
Mike, nice meeting you. Good luck, Danny.
Nice seeing you. Yep.
All right. See ya.
Spagog.
SMFTB, SMFTB. Truck stop funky chip mix. SMFTB, SMFTB, SMFTB. Truck stop funky chip mix. SMFTB. Saint Toothless Cardinals fans. SMFTB. Krabby Karens in the stands. SMFTB. When the Brewers fans are here. SMFTB. Cheeseheads getting drunk on beer. SMFTB. Pirates fans will walk the plank. SMFTB. In a stadium named for a bank. SMFTB. Rooters of the shitty Reds. SMFTB. Stuffing chili in their heads. SMFTB. Fans of the White Sox suck. SMFTB. Fuck everyone but the Cubs. SMFTB. 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 Truck stop funky chip mix. SMFTB. 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 Truck stop funky chip mix. SMFTB.